This week, we've been highlighting the stories of veterans who have lost their jobs as a result of Elon Musk's DOGE cuts. A memo from earlier this week revealing the Trump administration's plan to eliminate more than 70,000 employees from the Department of Veterans Affairs. Now, department that tasked with helping and supporting our nation's veterans is now in turmoil. Joining me now is Tony Ruiz. He is a veteran and was recently fired from the VA office in Los Angeles, where he worked directly assisting other vets with their benefits, disabilities, or even homelessness. Tony, thank you for joining us this evening. Can you tell me how you were notified you were going to be losing your job, and what did that feel like to you?
Sure. And first of all, thank you for having me on the show, for all the veterans out there who want help. So in my case, I got an email one day from my boss directing me to a calendar invite to meet with him, my director, and somebody from DOGE in D.C. And to answer your previous guest, there is a DOGE. And so I was told I was a failure. Today's your last day at the VA. Yet, like most of my federal employees and vets who are struggling and being punished, I was given an award by the VA 6 months ago in L.A. as Employee of the Quarter. I was given a $1,000 bonus, and I met Josh Jacobs, the VA Undersecretary. That tells you a lot. That somebody in D.C. picked me out, not for being a poor performer, but for being a stand-up performer. And many of us are suffering for this. And DOGE is very much real. And President Musk is very much real.
You know, just to hear about that, there's certainly, when you were told that you were being let go, and to think back just 6 months ago, as you've related to us just now, pretty stunning. And you say that you have felt targeted as a federal worker, but also as a Latino. Why?
So we got some emails when the administration first came in about DEI and turning in employees who were DEI. So when I was terminated, I felt like, okay, they're firing a bunch of DEI folks. I'm fired next for having a Latino surname. The VA picked me out, again, the Employee of the Quarter. And I hope you share the picture of Josh Jacobs and I, who, again, highlights the fact that I was a good employee, yet February 4th, I'm now no good to the VA. I'm a fraud, I'm abuse, and we don't want you anymore. It tells you a lot about something. When I have a master's degree in Homeland Security, and by the way, a veteran. So it makes no sense whatsoever.
You actually reached out to Republican Congressman Derek Van Orden, who is a disabled veteran himself, about being fired. What did you say, and how did he respond?
Sure. So I actually was trained by the VA to watch congressional hearings. And I always see Van Orden yelling at people, yelling at the VA. And I noticed that he always had some presence. So I emailed him and said, hey, on LinkedIn, where's your response to the firings, Congressman? No response. And one day before I went to D.C. this week, he sends me a message on LinkedIn threatening to fire me and to report me to either Elon Musk or DOGE, yet I was already fired. So Congressman Van Orden, a bit too late there. But
wait, threatening to fire you, why? Did he say why, according to you?
He said I was working at 1346 instead of talking smack about Donald Trump. But he didn't realize, if you looked at the email, I was already fired. And so, once again, a blatant attack on a veteran from somebody, Congressman Van Orden, who talks about veteran first. Veterans are the most important thing. But in my case, apparently, he reported me to DOGE/Elon Musk to get me fired. Didn't work, though.
Well, Van Orden's office provided us with this statement, which questioned how effective the LA Veterans Office is at delivering services, and said this specifically about you, sir. While I love the VA and get my health care there as a disabled veteran, there are problems that need to be addressed. Data from the Los Angeles VA, where Mr. Ruiz was formerly employed, is a prime example of bureaucrats who are more focused on self-promotion than providing services to veterans, which is their actual job. Mr. Ruiz is the poster child for self-aggrandizement as he exploits his former position at VA for public fame and political gain. Unquote. What is your response to that?
I will respond to that because he didn't make the show, but I'll tell you this much. I was in D.C. this week with a lot of senators. Senator Blumenthal spoke in the Senate floor, and he mentioned all us veterans, fighting for our rights. And guess how many Republicans were on the floor that day? 0. So I'm not going to respond to Van Orden. What I'm going to tell you is a lot of federal employees are upset. We want answers. We want our jobs back. And I'm not going to speak on the LAVA. I think Van Orden should call the director of the LAVA, not me. And more importantly, I think senators in D.C., I have some advice for you. Go to the Senate floor and vote for Republicans. Vote for veterans. Because at this point, all the Republicans you've done is you've turned your back on all the veterans that you supposedly love. And that's not good.
Mr. Tony Ruiz, thank you for your service, and thank you for joining me tonight.